Welcome, viewing several once again. I think this is episode 50 of my series Hands Up Who Loves a Train Set. I do, obviously. So I've been trying to get my vintage tricks set up and running. There's still plenty of work to do on that one. One of the locos I've got appears to be a pre-war one, so it's going to be, I think I'll get them working, but it's just going to take me a little bit longer than I thought. So in the meantime, I'm doing a couple of other things. So the first thing I did was I reviewed a little battery set. This is also a battery set, but this one's a little bit more interesting. This is a Mehanotehnika from former Yugoslavia. Now Mehano, they're still going under the name Mehano, which is now Slovenia, and they still make some nice toy train sets. As I say, this is more on the toy end than the scale model end, but it's still quite nice. I like all of these things, and I have reviewed one of their 1980s sets. This one I'm not sure. It's definitely pre-1990, because that's when they changed to, they just changed to Mehano. So yeah, I bought this very cheaply, and it looks like it's going to work without really needing much doing to it, and it looks like it will run on this loop. So as always, chapter links in the description, and if you want to skip forward to the bit where we drink the lager, then do so. In the meantime, we will have a look inside the box. Right, here we are. Very simple. So there are some instructions. We'll just have a very quick look. So we've got instructions in Yugoslav, which will be Serbo, I imagine Serbo-Croat, is it? And then you've got English, the GB, but you've also got French and German. And yeah, Mehanotehnika Isola, that was the name of the company before they were just Mehano. Now, this set obviously was sold in France and Germany, and as with a lot of these sets, they have an SNCF livery. So I did show one of these before that was the green version of this, and these are quite nice. These are quite nice locomotives. They are heavy, but it's because they've got quite a lot of lead in them. There's a big lead weight in there, and there's one just under there, and I'll open it up in the next section so we can just have a quick look at the running gear. But yeah, the pickup is on this side on this bogie, and on that side on that bogie, so it's there and there. Very simple, but the bogies are both driven, which is nice. It's a centrally mounted motor with the kind of universal linkage and driving each bogie. So this one's in very good condition. So I don't know how old this is. The box art, it looks 70s, but it might not be. The writing on the front is obviously French, so it's mainly for the French market, as you can tell by this. So the wagons, we'll have a quick look. They are, they're nothing to write home about, but for a cheap wagon, they've got some weight to them, and they're actually all right. They've got planks inside. The planks are detailing inside, and these two are the same in different colours. So they've got the yellow one, and I guess the frames are all the same underneath as well. Very basic, but it's a toy train, and it's got these couplings. I don't quite know what they're called, but you get these on a lot of European sets like Loco, and I've got these on a lot of my HOE stuff, which is like Lilliput and Roco stuff. So they're all right. Those they work pretty well. Now the controller, I won't be using it. It's a very simple battery one. I've actually took the wires off because I wanted the end connectors to screw to the power track. So I'll just put them straight into one of my modern controllers. This requires two of those, what they call the doorbell batteries, 4.5 volt ones. But you can see this is very simple. It just pivots back and forth, and it either connects that way or that way. So it's a lot of these old battery controllers use these little kind of rivet things to make contact. Sometimes you get a more sophisticated arrangement, like on the Airfix one, where you've got you've got cells in one direction and the other, so you get a middle setting where you've got half voltage. But this one, although it's marked on the front as 0 to 9 volts, it's really just on in that direction or on in that direction. In any case, I'm not going to attempt to use that one because we don't, it's hard to get those batteries. So the track. Now this track, the last Mehano set that I showed you had, I think it was a cheaper one, because the track had that weird kind of brassy look to it, and it just didn't seem as good. Maybe have to get some out at some point and compare it, but this seems all right, and it's clean, it's not rusty, and yeah, it looks all right. And I think the other thing with that track, it was a bigger, because it was a passenger set, it was a much bigger radius. It wouldn't fit on my desk. I've just noticed there's a fish plate missing there, so I might have to do something about that before we set this up. But I think I'll be able to run this track, because I think this is just about going to fit on here. So we'll set it up with the track that comes in the set, but we will not be using this controller, we'll be using something a bit better. Right, so we'll have a quick look inside the loco and then we'll set it up and we'll give it a run. Right, so straight away we can see it's a runner without really doing anything to it. You can see, I think when it hesitates, it's just the rolling road's not really in contact. That seems pretty smooth. There's really not much to do on these. I mean, they're very simple. So we will apply a bit of this oil, but there's not really anything to do on this one. That looks pretty good. So we'll give it a light oil. You can see it's got the central motor with the two kind of universal drive shafts to the bogies, which I always think is quite a nice, it's quite an effective design on these things. It's all plastic, but you've got a heavy weight that screws off underneath, and you've got this one. I can't remember if the green one of these I've got is the same. I'm pretty sure the green one I've got doesn't have the windows in the cab, but I could be wrong. Maybe we'll get that one out later and compare it if I can find it. It's somewhere around. I think it's on a very, very high shelf though. But I'm looking around the room, I can't see it, but maybe we'll get the green one out. I think it's obviously the same. I do wonder whether the green one was a little more cheaply made, but this looks like it's for the French and English markets as German markets. Yeah, but that runs all right, so the next time you see it, it'll be on the track. Body just literally clips on, and then, as I say, you've got this extra, that comes off, that's got another heavy, so it's still pretty hefty. Right, before we run it, this is the track from the previous set that I reviewed. Oh look, there's the missing one of those, I think. You'll see the difference in colour of the rails, and they are different, and on the back they say different things. So this one, I'm sorry, I need to read it. It's just, it says made in Yugoslavia, and it's got a different number on it. Interestingly, this one says Tempo on it. Now I don't know whether that was made by a different company, but it does look and feel like better quality track. Anyway, we'll set this up and see what thing I mentioned was I've got two of these. The green one is much cheaper looking. You see the blue one has actually got window glass, or plastic. I don't know whether that's because it's missing from this one or whether you never got it in the first place. I know that we had one of these when we were kids and I can't remember. The couplings on that seem to be missing the hooks, but a lot of times on these kind of sets, the loco, particularly I've got our HOE locos, and when they've got these couplings, often the actual locomotive doesn't have the hooks on, only the wagons. So it's possible that this one was just a slightly more upmarket version of that. Anyway, there we go. We'll set it up. Right, here we are on the track. This is the best bit, isn't it? Because this is the bit where we have a beer and we play with our train set. Now, normally I would like to use the track that comes with the set, and I have done. It's sometimes a bit difficult to get these old sets into a loop because there's warpage and things over time, and a lot of my cheaper older sets, it's very difficult to get the thing in a circle or even a loop. When you've got a loop, it's easier because you've got a bit of straight, you've got a bit of leeway. But some of the sets I've had, you just can't get it to be smooth. I think this is okay. So today we're going to have one of these, which is a very nice hoppy IPA, and 5.3%. That's kind of like the magic number for me. So we'll have that, and you're welcome to join me in whatever beverage of your choice. So I've got everything set up. I am using the Gauge Master, but I am using the connectors that came on the controller with the set. Let's just see here. We'll just back her up. As you can see, it does run pretty well. I'm just going to move that back so we can try and couple on the straight. Oops. It's always a good sign when I'm prepared to try and do a coupling, because it means that everything's running fairly well. Okay, so it's coupled. Now, with a lot of these things, you have to fiddle about sometimes. I've not done much of that. Things get bent up and down, and a few, fractions of a millimetre can make a big difference in terms of, we'll see when we run it, whether the whether the bumpy track causes it to uncouple. So let's start her off. And we'll just start off relatively gentle, as we always like to. That's alright, actually. It's slightly bigger than my desk will allow, so I've got my patent applied for cantilever based desk extender, which I often have to put into practice with a lot of these continental type sets, but I think that's running very nicely. So that is, on the Gauge Master, that's on 40%, so that's about the low end for these things. I have actually run this on the Hammond and Morgan controller as well, and it was pretty similar, just as good. But I just felt this one had slightly more control when I was testing it on a straight and kind of servicing it. So I thought I would give this one a go. You can see the lights doesn't appear to be on, but that will come on as we add speed. So I'm going to put the power up to 60. Still quite nice and slow. That's pretty smooth. You can start to see the front light now. That's 60. Really should put my glasses on, but I need my glasses to see the controller because that's close to me. But no glasses is better for watching this. So we go up now a bit. And you can see there is the front light is working. Gradually we're coming up. And that is full speed. So we'll bring it back down. We'll come back down to there. Now I'm going to see how slow we can go below 40. There is a bit of inertia with the mechanism, so if I was to probably flip the direction at this speed, it probably wouldn't change, but it will crawl a bit more. A bit more friction on the bends might stop it. So we're on 30 now. Actually, that's still going, that's not bad. Yeah, that's fun, isn't it? This bit of cardboard here is supposed to be a back scene for a box layout I've got that I'm building in N-gauge. So I shouldn't really be resting my beer on it, but it doesn't matter because I can stick the background to the other side anyway. So there we go. That, yeah, okay, so that's a bit too slow for it. Let's bring it to a stop. And we'll see how it goes backwards, because sometimes you find that these lightweight wagons will derail being pushed back the other way. Yeah, it doesn't like that step up there at that. But yeah, it's alright, isn't it? I think that's really nice. So this is the second one of these I've got. If I was to guess, I would say this one is probably earlier, but it might not be. It does seem slightly higher quality. But I haven't got any of the more modern, like post, 90s onwards Mehano sets. And they still make those. And I think if you buy them in the European Union, they are really good value, for a basic train set. But I think once you've imported them into this country, they get a bit expensive for what they are. But I would like, I'm always on the lookout for them. And if I see one at a good price, I'll always buy it. So this one, I was just looking for some spare parts to fix up my Trix twin, AC Trix twin, and I bought a few bits for that, and I just always have a quick look at the train sets below, below £40, and between £20 and £30 is always a good one, where I like to buy them. If they're not working, you can get them even cheaper sometimes. So I paid about low 20s for this, but in actual fact, I think that's pretty good. It works. The track is the track that came with it, and if you're not bothered by cheap plastic wagons, which I'm not. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't put these on a scenic layout that I've built, but just running around my desk and having a play and a beer, I think this is absolutely fine. And this locomotive in that colour, I think that looks really good compared to the green one, which I reviewed earlier, and I do show it in the previous section, because it's got a nice matte finish and the windows are glazed, and it actually looks alright. The green one looks a bit plasticky, but yeah, and the wagons are a bit plasticky, but I mean, you could easily zhuzh them up with a bit of paint and a bit of weathering. They're actually not that bad. And I do like HO scale because it's just that bit smaller for this desk. You know, HO, the old TT, are really good. So there you go. So I think what we'll do, we'll quit waffling now. I'll have a sip more of this. That's nice. And we will do some close running shots as always. And so yeah, I think this is episode 50. So coming up next, well, the never-ending saga of me getting the Trix twin running. I've got some more of the Trix Express style Trix twin as well, which I might also do a bit more on. But the Hornby set I've got on pre-order is now coming out in autumn, it says. So it was due for release this spring, but that's okay. You know, we'll do that when it comes. It's not a problem. And in the meantime, summer's coming, so I'll probably be doing less frame set stuff. But I am going to be doing some of my modelling, you know, actual modelling as well. So I need to crack on with some of that. So at some point, I'll be doing that. But actually, I'm quite pleased with this set. I'm probably gonna leave this up for the next couple of days and just have a play with it, because it's actually quite nice to just watch it go round. Out of all the sets that I've reviewed recently, this one's running pretty well. So there we are. If anyone is from Slovenia and knows a bit more about these, or if you're from France and you bought one of these, and you know roughly what era it is. I mean, my guess would be early 80s or late 70s, but I could be wrong. Then let me know in the comments. And until the next one, thanks for watching, and we'll finish with some running shots. Cheers.